guys, Paul and Michelle from Hobby2Business. Welcome to this week's weekly show, the Hobby2Business Hub. Today we are going to be discussing understanding your bottom line.
Okay, so a common mistake people make, especially with startups and micro businesses, is not understanding the real costs involved with what they do. I'm going to use a couple of examples here. These aren't specific examples about people we've dealt with, but they are specific examples in the realms of products that are produced in the realms we've dealt with. So, for example, say someone that's in that craft sort of industry that's making up a crafted item. We saw some things on the net a while ago, these beautifully crafted and decorated gift boxes. Now, let's use those for an example. You really need to know your full cost in what that is costing you. Now, a lot of common mistakes people make is they sit there and they look at what they've purchased in. Yeah. They don't look at the intangible costs. You've got to look at the intangible costs around, did you have to, a lot of little things. I suppose it's really about the little things that get missed. Yeah. So someone will, say for example, they purchased a couple of the items, like some of the stuff they use to make these gift boxes is purchased online. So a lot of common things that are missed is the postage for those things.
And transaction fees as well on top of those.
Yep, postage and transaction fees. You've really got to get the total cost together. There's other things people may go and pick gear up from people. Or buy bulk amounts of stuff, and a lot of times they've got to travel to specific places. It's not, if you're not in a regional area, a lot of these type of things come from specialty shops and specific shops. So someone might have to drive an hour to go and buy all of this stuff. Yeah. So you've got to look at you've got to work out a rough petrol cost on what that's going to cost you to drive there. How many times do you do it? Do you do it once a week? So that's 52 trips a year. You really should be costing that out over how, where is that going to cost you in realms to servicing for your car, adding extra Ks to your car,
that's right, yeah. Things
like that. It's not just, people tend to look at the direct cost. For example, we know quite a few people in different pet industries around breeding. We know some people that breed dogs. We know some people that breed birds. We know people that breed snakes. We do
other reptiles.
Other reptiles in the sort of more the lizard realms. Apologise for not using the right terminology there. It's not really my strength, but anyway, you've really got to look at what an output price for a unit is, and it doesn't matter whether that unit is a goldfish, a crafting box, a set of
handmade earrings,
handmade spurs,
handmade clothes,
whatever. You've really got to look at the entire cost, and you don't understand your bottom line. A lot of people make the mistake of not putting all those little soft costs in that are involved around buying something. Some people tend to put these direct. A few difficulties here at the moment. Oh, we're back. We're good. Okay, that's all right. So the animal costs, people say, an animal is worth this much in the market, a certain mutation of something. But you've really got to look at, and it's great to say that someone says, let's say, for example, they sell a crested budgie. We're going to use that example, a crested budgie for $100. And someone says, that's great. I made $100 on that crested budgie. I can sell 20 crested budgies a year and make $2,000. It doesn't really, although it sounds very simple like that, it doesn't work like that. Because how much seed have you fed that budgie? How many supplements have you bought for that budgie?
Water.
Even down to little things like the water. What about greens? Did you feed it greens? You had to buy new nest boxes this year. You've really got to put in all of those costs, and people don't look at all of those costs. And like I said, your bottom line is all about, when we look at it, and the most common mistakes we see people make is they forget all the soft costs. That's right. The things that they pull out of their pocket. It's no good trying to cost something up if you're not going to put all the costs in, or if you're going to sit there and say, well, I pay for that out of my spending money and stuff like that. If you're spending it on that, it's a cost to it, and you've really got to work out the real numbers.
Yeah.
Because once you get your real bottom line, and that's the focus of all of this, is to get your real bottom line. Once you get your real bottom line, you can really see where you're at.
Yep.
And it's all about making sure, once again, I keep using that term, soft costs, but it's so many things are missed. I mean, I know people that say they work online. Well, not say they do work online, you know, but there's no cost built in around power, the internet connection. You know, we know one person in particular that's got a very, very well teched up office.
Yeah.
And, you know, has probably spent somewhere in the realms of
a lot of money.
pushing somewhere between around $15,000 teching up their office in the last 12 months or so. And it's great, believe me, it is brilliant. Like, it is heaven. But when we talked to her, she hadn't really included that, like that output into her costs of running her business. So we're, you know, and we sort of had to say to her, well, you've spent $15,000 roughly, you know, to set yourself up. That's still a cost for your business.
That's right.
So
she's not quite in the profit yet. She's getting there.
Yeah, getting there. And you know, and some of the stuff she's done is just sensational. It really makes her work, really easy to do. You know, she's automated a lot of stuff and bought a few programs, and it's just made her job really easy. And you can see she's growing really well. But it's about that overall cost.
That's right. And probably one thing too that a lot of people don't factor in is people's time. That's probably a factor too that you can add in as a potential cost. Although it might be a hobby.
It's great early on to say that, to not really factor in your time, but at some point you've got to put a dollar value on your time, because you could be working all day, Saturday and Sunday, outside of your work.
And have no work-life balance.
Have no work-life balance, but you know, at the end of that full weekend doing that, if someone's paid you, you know, $1,000 or something, and that sounds great, you think, wow, you know, I've turned over an extra $1,000 in my week, you know, and I mean, look, that sounds ridiculous, but it's not. I know people that work full-time, used to be tilers and tile on weekends, and do that easy.
Yeah, it happens all the time.
But one particular, and I use the tiling as an example, because when we got our house tiled, we were talking to the tiler at one point, and you know, he was telling us how much that he'd made. He makes, you know, because it took 2 days to tile our house. So, but what he hadn't factored into that was that he was supplying the tiles. He was supplying the grout, the glue, you know, whatever. And although he was getting the tiles at a very cheap price, and look, I'll tell you our cost here, it was $2,000 to tile the house for a weekend. So it sounded great. $1,000 a day, whack, easy money. But when you think about, you know, when we go back years later, because we built this house a few years ago now, but when we go back and work it out and we look at the invoices he gave us, the tiles and everything else he bought was... Well, we're back. We just dropped out.
We've got a bit of a thunderstorm happening here.
Yeah, so we apologise. We're dropping in and out. But, so it was $1,200 or $1,300. So
I'll wrap up it quick.
Yeah, we'll wrap it up quickly. But in short, he wasn't making $1,000 a day. He was making about $400 a day. So you've got to put all those costs in. You've got to involve all those soft costs. You really need to understand your bottom line. And on next week's show, we're going to work up from that bottom line, excuse the pun, and talk about what the next step is once you find your bottom line. Because then once you get your bottom line, you can work on how much profit you need, cost cutting, all the rest of it. So we hope you've enjoyed that. It was just one that we thought is a common mistake. It's a common thing that pops up. A common thing that pops up that we thought we should talk to people about is really understanding your bottom line and getting all of those costs in there to give you a true indication of your real bottom line.
That's right. Also, if you haven't done so yet, we are running our Valentine's Day competition, which is drawn tomorrow.
It's Valentine's Day. All you guys out there, don't forget. It's no good being in the doghouse for next week.
That's right. So if you haven't, jump on, like and follow our Hobby2Business page, share the competition post, and comment done for your chance to win this great pack.
Just make sure you actually like our page. A lot of people go and like the post.
Yep.
That's, you've got to like and follow our page.
The Hobby2Business page.
The Hobby2Business page.
Yep. So yeah, mate, jump on, enter that, and we'll see you next week.
Well, hopefully one of you lucky people watching out there tonight is the winner tomorrow night. So we'll see you on Hobby2Business Hub next Tuesday night.
Thanks, guys. Bye.